So good evening, everybody. My name is Stanislav Moiseev, and today I'm going to talk about possibilities of application of semantic network analysis for analysis and evaluation of brand image and brand importance. And yeah, this is a seminar of ANR-Lab. I am analyst here, and I'm also a co-founder and chief growth manager at Networks. And basically what we are doing at Networks, it is a company which was organized in the Aventica group. We are delivering cutting-edge technologies and solutions for analysis of brands and product positions for people who work with such data, for brands, marketing, and product managers. And we're doing it through the instruments of social media listening. Yeah, we collect data from social media, and we using our methods and instruments to extract insights which can help to develop and to grow products and brands. And today I will base my talk on our cases, on our examples, and on methods which we are using in Networks. And we will follow this agenda. First of all, I will briefly explain why it is so important to use social media data for brand management nowadays. Then I will introduce the concept of semantic network and show you how it might be used to analyze brand image and to analyze brand importance. Yeah, and I will say a few words about optimization. I will share with you our experience and tool which we are currently using. And yeah, that's it. So let's start. Yeah, first of all, just to show you that social media produce really large amounts of data, I put on slide these numbers. You can see that by October 2022, every month, social media users in Russia, they published 1.5 billion posts. And these numbers, they increased since 2020, despite all restrictions and despite all regulations, which appeared through the last year and a half, which means, yeah, social media produce a lot of information, but even this amount is not a case itself. What is more important and what I want to pay your attention for is that generally the way how brand image, brand perception, and brand loyalty formed changed significantly for the last 20 or maybe 30 years. What was happening in the beginning of this century? Some people who are responsible for brands and marketing, like for example, in Volkswagen, they were constructing some brand positioning. Then they were thinking about how to deliver this positioning through traditional media channels, such as television, for example. Yeah, and that was it. Message which was delivered was somehow understood by target audience, and they ideally afterwards follow this positioning, this meaning, and follow recommendation, I would say, which was given to them through the advertisement. But nowadays it works differently. Nowadays, these people, let's call them brand managers, they lost monopoly for brand creation and for brand marketing, because today brands borders, they are blurring, right? And nowadays many other people, not only employees of companies, but customers, other market participants, they participate in the process of brand image creation. Yeah, and you can imagine marketplaces like in our example here, Yandex Market. Yeah, where we have dozens of different brands, many different products, and people who can in one place order it, who can comment on the quality of these products, who can discuss what to buy or what not to buy, so on and so forth. And basically all these people, these company managers, these consumers and other participants, they co-create brand image and brand importance. And on the other hand, now we have not just product and companies brands, we have so-called idea brands, right? It's some grassroots ideas which became so popular, is so important that they, by their own, can drive brands and products and can drive brands and products, for example, marketing campaigns. Here I have an example of social campaign «Я не боюсь сказать», which appeared, it was born in Ukraine. It was associated with domestic violence and general violence, sexual violence, with which women may face, and it significantly increased importance of this topic in our area, I could say. And I have an example, this nice photo of Instasamka. It's an example of a person brand. It is not a company, it's not a kind of idea, it's a real person who built it, a personal brand, and it became very important, so important that companies and their brands now are trying to collaborate with this particular person and with many other persons who can have their brands. So what does it mean? It means that social media provides opportunities to co-create brands, co-create products, their meaning and importance. And that is why it's crucial nowadays to pay attention to this particular area of information and data production, because if you will not pay attention to that, you may miss a lot. Yeah, and it's important to notice here that this importance is particularly significant for B2C brands. Yeah, brands who produce products for many different consumers who can really discuss it in social media. And this is not so relevant for B2B brands, for brands who work with other companies, because these guys, they do not talk a lot about products perception and so on and so forth. Okay, if it is so important and it is so crucial, so we should pay attention to that, how it is possible to analyze this data and how can we extract some meanings from it. Here we come to the concept of semantic network. First of all, I want to say that traditional social media listening, the area which is dealing with this data from social media, it works with publications as independent units of analysis, right? We can, I don't know, collect publications where some brand, so okay, let's be Volkswagen for today, mentioned. Then we can estimate sentiment of this post. We can estimate reach. We can estimate engagement of target audience into this post, and so on. But here we are not going to analyze relations between these posts and words which appear inside of them. But words are related, and relation between words could provide us with interesting information about some cognitive structure, about semantic structure, for example, of brand perception. And if we will work with this structure of relations, we can get this information. How does it work? Let's take this example. So it's sentences and words from publication by Andrea Golden, author of so-called Semantic brain score. I will talk about it later. So initially he just put these couple of words all together. You can see two sentences here. Aurora star is bright and dark night, yet surrounded by mystery and unknown. And sometimes dark night mystery dream unexpectedly comes true. It doesn't have a lot of sense, but anyhow, we can extract words from these two sentences, and we can say that if words appear in one sentence altogether, it means that they have relation, because somebody put exactly these words in one sentence or in one phrase. And if we will extract these relations, we will try to somehow map them, we will get such word co-occurrence network. So it's very easy. You can see that each word which appears in one sentence together now have relation, and value of this relation is 1. It means that one time we can see that word, for example, star and word dark appeared in one sentence. But some words in this co-occurrence network, they have different value of tie, different value of connection. For example, words night and dark, they have value of connection equal to, and also words dark and word mystery, they have value of connection 2. What does it mean? It means that these words appeared together not in one sentence, but in 2, at least in our example. So why does it important? It is important because we can try to find such strong relations between different words, different concepts in publications which people post in social media. And that is how we can, for example, understand which words are stronger associated with our brand, what adjectives, what colors, what verbs are better describe our brand, stronger associated with it. And that is how, for example, we can extract information about brand image which appear in social media. Just to show you how it's my work, how can we get such word co-occurrence network from social media? Let's imagine that we collect all posts related to some topic. For example, we are going to collect posts associated with ESG topics, or posts which are related to dollar rate, right? Which is very important nowadays. Then for each post, we will extract words and establish relation between all words exactly in this post. And if we will combine these posts all together, these networks of posts all together, we will get network of words, which will look something like this. This example it is in Russian because data which we have in English is currently under NDA regulation. But you can see this is example of data collected for the category of fast food. And you can see that there are some important words. For example, child, family, something new, tasty, good, free, or price. Yeah. And you can see that even in particular this network, some words are more stronger related to each other than others, right? You also can see different colors, which could be a sign of different areas of meaning and different areas of sense. And basically, that's how word co-occurrence network might be treated as semantic network, because this particular structure of words for us might represent semantic meaning of discussion. And actually, it's kind of skeleton of discussion, which appears in all posts related to the area of fast food discussion. Okay. Now, since we have this basic understanding of semantic network, let's talk a bit about how can we use it to brand image analysis. You can say that, oh wow, it's very interesting, very nice picture, but it's kind of difficult to extract some sense out of it. Is it a way how we can simplify this image, or how we can make key relations more visible? Of course. And the easiest way of doing that is a line cut. Yeah. What we did here, we just remove all relations between words, or relations between words which were insignificant, a value of which was less than some threshold which we estimated empirically. And here we left the most important words which appeared in our word co-occurrence or semantic network. Also, of course, we left brands, yeah, brands to analyze what kind of concepts are related, strongly related to companies which were in focus of our analysis. And you can see I blurred some names because, of course, it's also was commercial project, but I left brands which are currently not available. They don't exist in the Russian market. It's McDonald's and KFC. And you can see, for example, that McDonald's, it was associated with charity, family restaurants, and KFC was related to tasty food and cheap food. For example, relation between McDonald's and cheap food was not so strong because you do not see tie between McDonald's and cheap, particularly in this network. What else interesting do you see here? You can write in the chat, or you can turn on your mic. Any ideas?
Probably some groups of nodes.
Mm-hmm.
They are colored by different, they have different colors. Mm-hmm. So it must mean something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it must. But also, we can see that there are two nodes here which are not related to any brand, yeah, which we analyze in this category. What does it mean? It means that there are some important topics which audience discuss. In this example, it's a topic related to vegan or vegetarian meals and topic of ecology. But these topics are not connected to the main network. Yeah, there are no brands. There were no brands in this example, which were strongly related to vegetarian meals and to somehow ecologically based way of having food. Yeah, and for brand managers and for marketing managers, it's a sign of open territory. It's a possibility for a brand to occupy this territory, to establish this relation, and to show audience that our brand actually is, we have some vegetarian meals. Yeah, we are thinking about ecology. We, I don't know, tend to produce less harm to the nature, so on and so forth. And This is an example of importance, such structural analysis of social media publications. Yeah, because if we would just, I don't know, try to estimate frequency, for example, of words which we have in our sample or in our volume of data, we would never know that frequent discussions of vegetarian meals and topics related to ecology are not related to brands. They are not related to companies which exist in the market nowadays. And it is the only way how can we do that. And it's unique opportunity because, also it's natural discussions. It is something which is really important for people. We did not ask them to tell us about ecology through the third way. We didn't try to estimate importance of ecological issues through in-depth interviews. They just talk about it. And it means that, yeah, it's something significant and we may pay attention to it. And maybe it would be an opportunity for us to occupy this open territory and to build our brand around this territory and to make it stronger. Yeah. So, but of course, this is just an example of so-called qualitative analysis, something which you can understand just looking into the picture of this discussion structure. Of course, it's always interesting to somehow estimate how important our brand is, and it's always interesting to estimate what value our brand has and how strong and important it's in comparison to other brand, which we can observe in some category or in some field. This is how we come to index of brand importance evaluation. And there are different indexes which might be constructed on the basis of semantic network analysis. I want to talk about this one. It's I mentioned it before. It's semantic brand score, which was developed and introduced by Andrea Colden, and he's still so you see that he introduced this index in 2018, and he's still working in this area. He's trying to make this index more relevant. He's trying to use different metrics to estimate this semantic brand score, and he even created his own platform for semantic brand score evaluation. So what does it mean and how does it work? Semantic brand score, it's index which constructed, you can see, from three separate indexes. One is prevalence, second is diversity, and the third one is connectivity. Prevalence actually is non-network metric. It's computed just as frequency of brand mentions. Yeah, if we have volume, some volume of social media publications, we can compute share of publications in which our brand is mentioned, or we can just compute frequency of word which is represents our brand, for example, Volkswagen, in comparison to the frequency of other words in our network. And that's how prevalence is defined. Diversity is defined as degree centrality. Yeah. So I see that we have many participants from ANR-Lab, so I suppose that most of our audience is familiar with this concept of degree. Degree just means amount of direct ties which our brand has with other words in network. So just here, if you will compute number of ties for example, here for KFC, you will see that the degree of KFC is 3. Yeah, because it's related to 4, sorry, 4 for promo codes and different price options, with cheap, with tasty food, and with healthy well-being, right? And for example, the same metric for McDonald's would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, degree of McDonald's is higher because it connected to more different concepts in our word co-occurrence network. And the last concept of connectivity, it is not that direct because it's computed as closeness centrality. When we're talking about closeness centrality or network closure, we're trying to estimate how close our node, our brand in our sense today, to other nodes in our network. And I will just say it briefly because it's quite difficult to explain how it's computed. You can see that brands here, they actually connect different nodes. For example, KFC, it connects these price options and promo codes with the concept of health and well-being, right? And healthy food. Or, for example, McDonald's, it connects charity with family restaurant. And what is important, actually, family restaurant and charity, they are not connected to each other at all by any other brands. So when we're talking about closure, we're computing this distance of our particular node to other nodes in network, and that is how it's basically estimated. Why all this? Why all these three metrics are so important to estimate this semantic brand score? Yeah, prevalence is important because it signifies number of mentions. Yeah, and if your brand mentioned more than others, it means people can face with your brand more often. And basically, we can say that they could remind our brand more easily. When they will come up with some decision, probably our brand will be top of mind because they saw it very often, and it's like very, very direct. Diversity is important because it is supposed that strong brands, they should have connections to different topics and to different teams, right? To different semantic areas. Because if we occupy different semantic areas, it means that we participate in different discussions. We can communicate with different audiences to different topics, and it is good, right? Because and it is especially good for big brands who want to occupy all important territories. For example, territories of ecology and vegetarian food, what we see in our example. Yeah, and why connectivity is important? Is important, yeah, because it is good if brands could establish ties with different thematic areas, and if it's could relate different thematic areas around itself. And it also means that so our brands could be not could be but engaged in different topics, and it's close to them. Yeah. So importance and relevance of these particular indexes might be subject of some discussion, but Andrea Colodon showed on like direct examples that increase of these metrics and general increase of semantic brain score can lead to increase, for example, in consumers' buying behavior. He has a very nice article where he shows that he compared museums, and he showed that museums with higher semantic brain scores, they have more visitors. Yeah. So and basically this semantic brain score, why it's so nice and why we love it and why we use it in our practice, because basically from such network, which is quite difficult to understand and to directly, for example, without line cut, and line cut means that you lose some information, it's difficult to interpret and analyze, you can come up with such scheme, right? This is example of brand important metrics for 7 brands for exactly this network, and this is was calculation for several time periods. Particularly, we collected information for the 1 year, and you can see that actually semantic brain score has some differences for different brands. And here you can see some peaks, right? That something happened. Yeah, maybe it's brand run some campaign, or maybe something bad happened, which brand didn't intend to do, and that is why 1 of 3 components of semantic brain score increased over the time. So in particular, our case here, it was a special campaign, sales campaign with promo codes, and it leads to increase in prevalence of 1 particular brand. That's why he occupied leading position for some time. So we computed this index for different networks, for different categories and different brands. And generally what we see is that basically, like here, if brands invest money, time, and skills of people who are managed it to work with prevalence, to occupy different thematic areas, and to engage into different topics, it's increased its importance. It increased its value in sense of semantic brain score. And of course, we also did some comparison. It's not so systematic as number of our social media listening cases, but we compared dynamics of this index with traditional brand health surveys, and usually there is I will not say correlation, yeah, because we didn't measure it in numbers, but we saw at least some relations, okay, relation between position of brand according to semantic brain score and position of brand through traditional survey-based brand health measurement. Yeah, so basically this is how we work. This is how it works. I just wanted to show you that from this network, semantic network, which constructed from words which occur together in social media posts, we can, from other hand, get information about brand image and associations which appear around it. We also can analyze brand territories which are occupied by some brands and which are not occupied by others, and which are totally open and free to occupy. And also from the same network, we can compute some indexes which we can measure through the time, and which we can use to estimate our position. And so this example, we did this project several years ago, but nowadays we have clients with whom we are monitor several times per year their position by this semantic brand score and other indexes, and we analyze attributes which we extract from social media and which are associated with brands in this category. And this information is really used by marketing and product managers to make their products better. Yeah, and talking about optimization, so we just in the beginning of our way. So we just have our internal tool, which means we just use it for our purposes, and it was created to extract different topics from a volume of social media posts, and to compute semantic brand score, and to get such nice images, such networks. And it works quite easy by drag and drop. You can see that here is a place where you could we should put a file with all posts which were collected for some category. And to the second row, you just put information about brand spellings. Yeah, so we just give to our tool information which words are very important, which words are brand, and for which words we will compute this prevalence, this diversity, and this connectivity, and around which words we want to cluster our topics. Yeah, and so it's, if you will do that, it will give you back this clusterization, this semantic brand score separately or all together. Yeah, but I will not demonstrate you how it works because it takes time. Yeah, because clusterization usually it takes something from 15 to 30 minutes to compute with amount of data which we work. And semantic brand score, it usually takes from 7 to 15 minutes to compute, because now you understand that to do that, you first of all have to build networks, then you have to compute prevalence, diversity, and connectivity for each brand which you put into analysis, and it takes time because network computation is computation which requires a lot of computational abilities. Yeah, that is it for today. That is it for my talk about possibilities of usage of semantic networks to analyze brand image and break importance. Yeah, and if you're interested in this topic, you will find more in our channel. Yeah, since this week we are going to publish information about different indexes, such as semantic brand score, such as engagements, such as reach, and other possible ways to analyze social media data with usage of network and non-network metrics. Yeah, so subscribe if you're interested in, and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Stanislav, thank you so much. Dear colleagues, do you have any questions?
Yes, hello. I want to know, in your survey of fast food, where did you take posts? So what was the sample frame like?
Could you repeat the last sentence, please? You mean, okay, if Ilya put it correctly, yeah, we collected this. So let me be true. I don't remember exactly. So it was USCAN or it was brand analytics. So we are not collecting information, this information by ourselves. We use, we usually, I could say, nowadays, usually we use brand analytics or Medialogia. USCAN, unfortunately, doesn't work in Russian Federation nowadays because it was a great service which was created by Ukrainian team. Yeah. But you know, I also can say that nowadays with opportunities which is provided by ChatGPT assistants, it is possible to for some topics and for some sources of information, it is possible to write code to parse this information by yourself. But we are not doing that for big social medias because it's too complicated anyway.
Okay, thank you.
So one question was about the source of data that you have. And actually, I also this was also my question. So you said that can you please tell more about the different sources, like I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, or constructio, or can you differentiate between them? So do you take data from all of them or from some of them?
Yeah. So basically, each social media monitoring system, like brand analytics or Medialogia, they provide information from, like, not all, but hundreds, thousands of different sources. So on the top of mind, we have Instagram, Facebook, and other extremist restricted social media sources. But on the bottom, we have thousands of different forums, open chats, and groups in Telegram and WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. And basically, if we believe brand analytics, that they say that they collect information from 200,000 sources, and of course they update sources structure. I don't know how often, but I suppose on the at least on the monthly basis, because something appears, something disappear. But anyhow, it's a huge amount of information, only which sources to collect. Yeah, but it is relevant only when we are talking about such broad categories, like, for example, fast food or financial sector or ESG or sustainability topics which are discussed in Russia. On the other hand, you have some narrow topics like HR brand. Yeah, when we're talking about HR brand, we have to analyze information which was posted by employees, and employees do not post so much in traditional social media, but we have special platforms, also many of them, like Dream Job, yeah, where people can leave comments, where people can leave some estimates of personal experience of working in this particular company, and that's what such sources it's better to collect by yourself, yeah, by parsers which you will write on your own, because it's very narrow and they all have specific APIs and regulations. Yeah, so it depends on what you are looking for.
Okay, thank you. Dear colleagues, do you have any other questions? Okay, probably while some of you is still thinking about their question, I have also one more. actually, so this semantic brand score is consists of, as I understood, consists of 3 basic network metrics, right? Which are then somehow somehow created into one large index. So is it enough to have this information for the companies who order some research from you, or do they ask for getting some extra knowledge, and how do you deal with this?
Oh, yeah, thank you for this question. No, of course it's not enough. No, simple example is Net Promoter Score, NPS, right? Because Net Promoter Score is just one question in survey questionnaire. And it's very simple, and why many companies love it so much. But you just get, from this question, you just get information about loyalty of your audience. But you don't know factors which influence this loyalty. You don't know how your brand is perceived by this target audience, so on and so forth. That's why in huge questionnaire, there is only one question about Net Promoter Score and many other questions about brand perception, factors which influence this brand perception, and so on. And so in our research in social media listening, it works the same. We have this index, but this index provides information about brand importance, or you can call it brand position in social media. And by deep dive into the separate components of this index, you can analyze what influence on this evaluation of semantic brand score. But it's not enough for you to understand, for example, how your brand is perceived. That's why you have to analyze and extract information about brand image attributes. That's why you sometimes have to make topic modeling to analyze what's general topics not related particularly to your brand are relevant to your audience, to understand what topics it's important to address. For example, you may be interested in calculation of social CSI, social NPS, and yeah, we usually we call it brand 360 degrees. We analyze all this information to provide full picture of brand perception and brand position.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for this answer. Yes, that's great.
So it's kind of late. Maybe if we don't have other questions, we may finish.
Yeah, we can finish. So thank you very much, Stas, and thank you very much for sharing your tool with us. And it's a great example, I think, of using of network analysis. And actually, I think it is beautiful because it is actually simple. So it's quite easy to explain what it is. This was a throwback to our discussion last Friday when we were talking about the scientific and applied research, and we were saying that there is a problem that sometimes it is really difficult to explain some methodology to your to the company, to the customer. And I think that the beauty of this index is that it's quite easy to explain, and everyone can understand it. But at the same time, it looks like it works, so it's great. And as I understand, the people who developed this semantic brand score, they were making presentation about it in some of the Sunbelts, right?
Yes,
at the conference.
At least at 2 Sunbelts.
Yeah, so it's actually nice example of people who are involved into network analysis and
yes.
applying this in their projects. Yeah. So we wish you good luck. And
Thanks.
we do hope that we will be able to make some joint projects with the lab.
Sure.
In future. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye. Goodbye, dear colleagues.